Hello and good morning. It's Suzanne. How are you? Happy Wednesday. I'm the weight loss coach. And today I want to talk about the language and harnessing the power of the language of the mind. This is such a big topic here in my coaching room, and it forms the basis of so much of the work that we do. So we know the power of the mind. We know that simply by thinking a thought, we have a physiological reaction in our body. So if we have a happy thought, our face smiles, or we have this content look on our face. If we have a sad thought, we get frowns and lines. So really, it's so important to pay attention to what is going on in your head. How we think and how we react in life totally affects the way that our body processes and digests food. It totally affects our metabolism. So if your goal is to lose weight, it's really important to start thinking about, well, what's going on upstairs? How are you talking to yourself? How are you thinking about what you're doing? It really makes sense then to be mindful of what you are saying to yourself. Thoughts become things. I can't stress that or highlight that enough. Whatever is in the front of your mind will support that thought. So make sure it's a good one. The other interesting thing to know about the mind is that it has two basic forms of language, that there is a language in our mind. And the two forms are figurative language and literal language. Now, if you know me, I'm a very literal person. I find it difficult to look at things without thinking, well, if someone says that's what it is, well, that's what it is. If someone asks me to do something, that's what I'll do, if it's within, if I feel it's going to benefit me. But I'm very literal. And so I know how literal my mind is because I just take things very literally. And you may be the same, you may not. But it's worth knowing that your mind is very literal and even a figurative of speech. And we all like to embellish our conversations, events and things that have happened to us. That's figurative speech. But our mind takes it absolutely literally. So what we want to do is really harness the language of our mind, but really think about, well, what are you saying? That could cause your mind to think in a way that's very literal, that's actually not helping you to get where you want to go. And look, a lot of this happens in the unconscious mind. And so I want to give you a quick example of that. So the word devastation, and I hear, this a lot used out of context, really, to what a situation, to whatever an event that has occurred. And so the situation could be that, for instance, I might want to buy a special handbag. It might be something at Mimco, or a Carrie Bradshaw handbag. I don't know what they're called, but very exclusive. And I saw it in a shop, and I thought, yes, that's what I want. And then I didn't buy it right then, but I went back later on and it was gone. And I was talking to my friend and I said, oh my God, that bag, I was devastated. It's gone. It's actually gone. This bag is gone. I'm feeling so devastated about that. Now, for some of you, you might go, oh, well, that's just how people talk. And yes, they do. But you know what's happening in your mind, in your subconscious mind? It's taking that literally. Now, in my mind, the word devastation relates to something akin to Hiroshima. It's not the fact that I didn't get the bag that I wanted. Your subconscious mind will take that word devastation out of context to, you're talking about something that you couldn't have or weren't able to get, or you didn't get that promotion or whatever it was. Your mind is really taking that literally. And so that creates an underlying stress response in your body. So you can be stewing and fuming on that, or, having unnecessary feelings of sadness or stress or distress just because you use that word. So if we changed that, if we used a different word and thought about how we speak to ourselves, or thought about changing that word into context of the situation, and say, look, for instance, if it's a bag or if it's a promotion, oh, look, I was really disappointed. I didn't get it. I wanted it, but I didn't get it. So yeah, I was pretty disappointed about that. That is a very different languaging concept, or it's a different way for the brain to process something. It's more in context with what has happened. And so therefore you're less likely to feel so upset about it. You're not creating this stress response in your body unknowingly, unconsciously, that is causing a whole heap of chemical reactions. And why am I going on about stress response? Because it's the stress response that creates the hormones, cortisol and insulin, and they tell the body to store weight, hang on to fat, and not build muscle. And if your goal is to lose weight, then they are all the things you do not want to have happen. So we want to really make sure that as often as we can during the day, we have an awareness of how we speak to ourselves. So when we're cultivating and hanging on to heavy emotions, old anger, old sadness, old fear, old hurt, old guilt, it's physically weighing on our body, physiologically, emotionally weighing on our body. And it just puts us into the underlying stress response, the fight or flight response. And that, what all that is doing, it's telling our body to slow down our digestive system. It does not want to digest a meal. It wants to send all the energy of your body into your arms and legs to fight or flee, and it's not wanting to process food. So you can be eating the best quality food in the whole world, organic, everything perfect. And if you're eating it in a stressed state, or have all this stress going on in your life, you're not going to get the actual benefit of that. And there are many studies, there are many scientific studies to demonstrate two identical situations with food, with both humans and animals, that if one of those groups is in a stress response, they can tell that their body is not processing the food. They're not getting the benefit of all that good food. So our language of our mind, which, we're with our mind, in our mind all day, every day, can sometimes run away with us. We can be thinking quite negatively for a long time and not realize it, which is just creating all this negative stuff going on. And we project it. People can see that, we're not in a good place, or, that they even may want to avoid you. It could cause issues rippling out that you're not really aware of, because you're showing it in your face. You're projecting it energetically from your body. So it's really important to be aware of your negative self-talk. Because if you are talking to yourself in a way that's self-attacking and belittling, derogatory, saying unkind things to yourself every time you see yourself in the mirror, every time you walk past a shop window, every time you see a photo of yourself, you're unknowingly creating that stress response in your body. And of course, this is not what we want when our goal is to lose weight. So what is the remedy? The remedy is to practice the relaxation response, to practice kindness, cultivate kindness, to really have an awareness of how we're talking to ourselves, what we're saying to ourselves, to use the power of your imagination to support your thoughts and your actions and your behaviors. Remember, thoughts become things. So by practicing and cultivating kindness within yourself, and actively being aware of what you're saying, changing the language, or just putting a halt to it and go, stop. This is a universal thing that, typically 99% of people will respond to the word stop. And just by putting up your hands, saying it out loud, or saying it in your head, it will interrupt the pattern of thought. So it's called a pattern interrupt. You can quite easily, snip that negative thought circle going on in your head by just saying stop, and get present in the moment. Work out, well, what do I want to really focus on? I don't want to focus on all that horrible stuff because it's not helping. Let's work on what is happening for me right now. So it's important to be able to create your own subconscious programs in your head through repetition, through practice. And it is always going to be a practice. But once you get the hang of it, you get more aware of how you're talking to yourself, what you're saying to yourself. You're putting your body into the relaxation response. And why is that important? Because that is the optimum for our body to digest and process food in our gut. So when we are in a restful state, our gut will be able to process the food. We'll get all the nutrition that we need. We'll get everything that is important to our mind and to our body. So practicing kindness, practicing changing what is the self-talk that is going on in your head is so powerful, as is visualization. And there are countless scientific experiments and companies and athletes that use this, which is visualization. Visualize the you that you want to be. See yourself doing all the things that you want to do, living the life that you want to live. Focus on what you want moving forwards, not what you didn't like or all the yucky stuff that's happened for you in the past. So there we go, a little bit about the power of the language of the mind, harnessing the language of the mind. So if you found this helpful, I'd really love to hear about it in the comments below. Send me a message, pop in a comment, and you'll be able to read a little bit more about this in my blog. So we'll post the blog and the link to my website where there's more information about harnessing the language of the mind. So happy Wednesday, everyone. If you have a topic, if there's something that you would like me to talk on, please let me know. I'm jumping in here every Wednesday morning at 8:30, and my greatest wish is to be able to help you to overcome any eating challenges, body challenges, whatever's happening for you. So please let me know, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.